Hey guys, Terry here with Forest Farm Project. Today we are going to be connecting the water lines and the drain line to our kitchen remodel at Terry's old house. First off, what we're going to do is we've got some 400 grit sandpaper. It's real fine. I think it'll get the job done. I'm going to sand this pipe. This is going to be the cold water line. We're going to take this PEX. We're going to use a T. We're going to hook the PEX to this. Matter of fact, I can do that now. Put it right on there. And it is on there. And we're going to hook this into here. And we are connected. Now, I'm going to slide this back out of my way, back out into the room, which we did not staple underneath yet, so we can get this out of the way, make it a little easier for us to work with. So now I need to sand this pipe off just a little bit to get it clean so that that connector, the shark bite connector, has some good clean steel to grab onto. Good clean copper. So, I'm just going to clean it up. I'm cleaning it before I cut it. That way, when I cut it, water may try to pour out. I'm not concerned because I'm going to push this on real quick. We will have a little water from this water heater side running at us. Not much we can do about that. And the washer and the old washer connection, but it's going to be okay. And this old line this way is going to be disconnected and eliminated. This will be our new washer and refrigerator. We're eliminating the old. Yeah, you want to make sure and turn your water off before you start this project. All right, we got a really nice shiny spot there. Okay, now we're going to put this other shark bite on this hot water end. Get it pushed up on there good. Maybe. Make sure these things are in there. I really don't want to get a shower down here today, if I can help it. I like to make sure that I'm sitting good and flat on that pipe when I engage this thing into the copper. So I like to put my finger on top because it could be crooked, twisted, different back and forth, but you can feel it locked down in position. And then figure out where you want to cut that pipe and spin that thing up to it. Start turning it around in circles. Just snug it up a little bit. Turn it just a little bit more. I kind of probably overkill, go too long with this and don't turn it enough each time. A plumber would probably cut it right in two, but I don't want to take a chance of boogering it up.
You want this water bucket?
I'm fixing to get it in just a minute. Getting close. We got a little bucket. Hopefully we can catch some of that water as it starts flying out of there. I'm probably going to get nice and wet here. Hopefully that will catch the water. Yeah, it's starting to draw some air. I'm gonna let it. We've got the outside spigot open and it's not far away, so it's probably sucking this water right out of here. It's sucking air through the hole that I've started to create there. This is gonna go right there in just a minute. I think we're good enough. I have no patience. There we go. Look at there. That's good. This pipe's gone, so I'm just going to get it out of my way so I can put this on here. And again, I had this where I could push it back and forth. I'm going to have to push on it a little bit. As you can see, I'm laying on cardboard. Brian is too. It makes it really nice when you're working under a house. If we get a hold of a big piece, we'll stick it somewhere in a storage building or something and hang on to it. Comes in real handy for this kind of situation. Let's cut this, well, let's clean this hot water pipe. Okay, the hot water is going to go right here. And I got plenty to slide around here. I can move it anywhere I want. We left it loose on the other end, like I said. That makes it really easy just to move it around. We'll pick out a spot that works best for us, which is right about here. All these wires hanging here, they're kind of tight. And you wouldn't want to use a really coarse grade of sandpaper because It might make some deep grooves and possibly make it leak. I don't know. I'm going to use this little small cutter because there's not enough room to really spin this thing. It'd get caught up with that wire. I prefer using a bigger one, but this will get the job done for a small pipe in a tight area. All right. All right, there we go. It's hooked together. Okay guys, here's our plumbing pipe coming from in the room. Remember that inside there, that pipe's not glued. That way we can turn this, we can move it back and forth until we get everything done out here. We're gonna connect this 90 to that pipe. Then we're gonna come with a straight piece down and get this 90 connected to it. It'll go from there to here. And then we gotta put another little short piece of pipe and we gotta put a Fernco fitting on there. And you'll see that in a bit. All right, so first things first, we got to come out of this 90 and drop down. And I'm just picking an arbitrary place to put it. It doesn't matter. I could be anywhere kind of in this zone because I go to this pipe and it's actually dropping much more than the 1/4 inch per foot that it's supposed to. So we can bring it back down a little bit if we need to. We're a couple inches off there. I'm gonna have that here and then we'll let that drop a little bit, get a little more in line with where it should have been when they plumbed this place. A lot of old houses weren't done exactly right. They didn't have many codes back in the day and people just did what they wanted a lot of the time. This is the time when this plate vise really comes in handy. Stick that pipe in there and it's ready to go. I need to get a 3.5 inch piece of pipe. Isn't that what I said, Brian?
Yep.
3.5 inches. You gotta love a battery tool, man. These saw and everything is handy. You don't have to run drop cords under here. Man, I hate to think of the old days. Either use a hacksaw or run something out here.
That's way too easy.
Yeah, it is. Clean the little fuzzies off of this thing. Notice I got my safety glasses on today. You get it working under these houses, all that insulation, man, you get that stuff in your eyes, you know it. You just want to round the edge of that pipe off until it's smooth so it'll slide up in them fittings real easy. That's going to go on there. We're just going to dry fit this like we did inside first and make sure everything lines up properly and then start assembling it. That's going to go there. We're moving this pipe over to about here. I can cut that off. That's all we need. We don't even have to cut that new one. Now we got to saw this pipe off. And this got to line up with this pipe, which is going to be straight this way and turn that way. Okay. I'm going to cut it off here and then I'll cut it off a second time. I want to make sure that I don't cut off too much. When I cut that, it's going to want to fall.
Yep.
I'll hold it with my knee. Hopefully it doesn't dump a bunch of nasty old sewer water. Luckily, this is just a washer drain, so I'm not really concerned about that. I'm just eyeballing it, but it needs to be about 90 degrees to these joists this way because I'm coming over here straight this way and then I want to turn straight into it. So I'm going to go ahead and put that strap back up over here. All right, let's nail this thing up. I'm just going to nail it down here fairly low for now and temporarily stick it in there and see what happens. We might have to raise it. We'll brace it up properly later. Coming off of there and going this way. And let me, where's my pencil at? Right there. It's clean, that end's clean. I can put it in here, get roughly where we're going here. Putting my 90 over here, line it up with that pipe. I've got it to where I'm going to cut this pipe off, and it should line up perfectly with that pipe. It's getting short, so I'm going to hold it down with my elbow. Should be good. If you start out slow cutting on this, it does a lot better. If you take off fast, it's going to jump and cut all the pipe up and take a chance of jumping and getting you or bending the blade. Just start off slow. I could use a pillow under here. Okay, now we're going to slide this 90 on here. This is the other piece of pipe that's going to go out the other direction. I'm just going to kind of fit it all together. And that is going to line up perfectly. So now we got to determine where we're going to cut this. We've got this thing, everything's lining up just perfectly, and that pipe's going to fit. So now what we have to do is, this is a Fernco fitting. You can tighten it up with a socket or this nut driver here, and it's basically a piece of rubber that's supposed to last for a really super duper long time. You slide it over one pipe, slide it over the other pipe, you clamp this down on the pipes. The reason we're having to do this, we've got ABS pipe connecting to PVC Schedule 40 pipe, and they're not the same material. Well, the glue that works on the ABS doesn't work on here. The glue that works on here doesn't work on the ABS. They do make a glue. It's a green glue that does work between them. You can use a PVC connector and hook it to ABS with that green glue. But in the code book, it says to use a Fernco fitting. So we're not going to argue with the code book. We're just going to go ahead and put the Fernco fitting on here and get her done. So we got all these pipes lined up. Everything's looking really good. The only thing we got to do now is clean the end of that pipe up and then cut this off where they'll mate together. And we'll just eyeball this again and make sure everything looks nice and straight. Looks like it's going to work out pretty good right there. So that's where I'm going to cut it. And then we'll glue all this together. Call it a day. It's only about 1 foot long and it's still working in this vise. It's better when it's longer, but I think I can still work it out. Make sure you get your saw perpendicular to the pipe, not the ground, because you want to cut a nice square cut. All right, here we go. There we go. Okay, let's put this little piece on here. This is going to go back in here like so. And man, that just lines up perfect. Perfect. So we can put our Fernco on. That'll be the last thing we do under here. Obviously the last thing, you know what, that will be the last thing. We'll leave here, go under our addition, our expansion room there, where we're adding on to the kitchen, because we still have to connect this pipe inside the room, so that way we'll be able to move this back in and out without it being hooked on there. That'll be handy.
It's about to get real fun. We got to go under there.
Here's the pipe we got to connect. It's under the house right now. Get my cleaner out. Oops, got a little on my arm. Now we're good. Fixing to get really messed up here from breathing this stuff. This cleaner is just some modern stuff anyway. They never had this for most of my life, and everybody's pipe's doing fine. It's just something they decided to come up with. I think it's probably the manufacturers saying, hey, we could make a little more money if we'd sell them some of this cleaner. That's probably what it's all about. But hey, I just put it in because that's what they say to do. Get my arms where I can work. And there we go. Need more room. There we go. I got a ton of glue on there. Ton of cleaner on there. Primer, cleaner. And it's glued together. Go back under the house and hook it up. All right, now we got to glue all these pieces together. Get them glued up here into this pipe we just glued under the room there. And then do our final thing is going to be the Fernco fitting to tie these two pipes together. I know earlier in the previous video on plumbing, when we did the connections, we said we'd hook that pipe up last, and it seemed like it might be a good option at the time. Plumbing, you get in here and you start doing things and you realize, oh, I don't need to do that, I need to do this. It was better to glue that in there because it was going to be hard to move this around with all this weight on it. So in this particular instance, it's going to be better to work our way towards this fitting. So next thing we need to do, this pipe is going up and 90 degrees that way, and this one's coming down and 90 degrees this way, and they are 90 degrees out of phase with each other. Well, as in the other video, I told you about these marks on here. They help you line things up. I need that to be in line with that one for this pipe down here to come this way and that one to go that way and be perpendicular. So I need a straight line on that little pipe to help me get that lined up because these things aren't close enough to judge accurately. So I got kind of smart here for this particular instance. I think we're going to see how it works out. Since it's a little short piece of pipe, I'm sticking it in here. Take my pencil. Right now it should be a straight line because it's dropped down in this groove. And I can make my straight line on there. And now, when I assemble this, if I glue that in, and it's lined up with that line, and then I line it up right here with that line, everything should be perpendicular to each other, just like it needs to be. What do you think, Brian?
I think that's an awesome idea.
And that wasn't straight, but I didn't have it turned towards me.
Let's glue it.
Let's glue it, man. And now the fun begins. Fumes. This is the part I don't like because I'm not a person who likes to breathe any kind of fumes. I would never have made a good paint sniffer. I can't stand fumes. See if this line thing works out for me.
As long as you remember to use it, I think it will.
That's the thing. Will I remember to put it in line once I get it on there? Get all excited and try and get it done. Which direction does it go? Okay, that should do it. Oh man, that's going to be easy. That's going to make life easy. If I leave this, if I try to glue onto that one, while this is still soft, it might spin and then I would have a mess. So I'll close this glue up a little bit before it knocks me out. We're going to give this a minute to dry. We'll be back in just a minute. I don't care how much you shake that cleaner, man. There's still more coming out of it. That ought to be good and gooey. I'm a little sloppy. I want to make sure it don't leak. Okay, I got that line right in line with the other line. Man, that couldn't have worked out any better.
That's awesome.
Yup. So we're good on that. I'm going to go ahead and glue this one in because it's a straight pipe. It doesn't matter which way it turns. What's going to be important is getting this end right. I can get it back apart. There we go. Yeah. Sloppy. Again, this one doesn't matter. What's going to matter is the other end. And on that, I'm going to line these letters up. Could have done that on the other. Line these letters up so I'll know I'm straight out down here. All right, we've got these three parts glued together. Actually, four. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Perpendicular. Doing what we need to do. And I noticed that this mark here is in line with this coincidentally with these words. Those words there are in line with those words, so this needs to be pretty much in line, but I don't know for sure, but that's close. I'm going to stick it up here where it's going to go and get an idea, make sure we're right. So that's up on there. That's going to go about, we'll have to pull this down a little bit more. This black pipe. So that's going to line up perfectly right there. Let's see my pencil. Where is it at? Right there. I'm going to mark on this pipe. One of our subscribers mentioned make a black line where these little hash marks are on your fittings onto the pipe you're gluing them to when you're testing them out like this. And that's a good idea. Now when I put some glue on it, I know that that's exactly where I had it. So here's where I made that pencil mark in line with this mark right here. From your angle, it probably looks off a little bit, but it's right in line. And now when I glue this, I'll know that this is properly twisted. We don't want it too high. We don't want it real low. So if it's way down here, we got a problem. So you look back up here. If I line that black mark up, when I get it in line, let's see what it looks like. Hold on. Now look over here. We're working out perfect. Got that clean. Got that clean. Get some glue up here on this pipe. Oh, I want to get it on me. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of glue up there. It's dripping all over the place. Stick this back up where it goes and line that line up. Show me some light up there, Brian.
1 second.
Okay. Yeah, this one I'm going to have to hold in place. Okay, I'm measuring the width of this, or length, whatever you want to say, of this Fernco fitting. It is approximately 3.5 inches. So that tells me I need about 1 3/4 up each pipe. So, just help me figure out where I'm at. 1 3/4 is about right. Whoops, right there. And let's get about the same over here. I can see that mark, you probably can't. So let's dry fit all this and see how it goes together. I think that fitting's too tight. There we go. It wouldn't go together, that was too tightened down too much. Okay, that's where it's going. We've got this on there. It fits. We need to angle this down and get them in line. Okay, we're going to do the pencil mark again. And I'm marking this one right here on the bottom in line with that mark on the pipe. It's actually off just a little bit, but I know where it's at. This doesn't matter because it's going to be any direction. It doesn't matter. This is what matters. We don't want it too low or too high. Get that clean. What a mess. Get that clean. If anybody gets on there and comments that I'm getting a little sloppy with this stuff, you're right. Okay, now this is over here like this. Like that. So I want this like that so I can see it. Looking good. I need to glue this yet. And this last glue fitting right here, I'll put it on this piece because I'm right here with it and I don't want to run that glue over my head. It'll get on there. And I line up my mark. We are good to go. I'm going to let that dry a little bit before we try and put it all together. Okay, now I'm going to line this up with a pencil mark on here, roughly. Whoop, line it up on here, I can see it better. We'll put it on here first. and tighten it up. That's that. Slide it on there until you feel the pipes definitely hit each other. Be all right. And tighten this one up. And we should have a good secure plumbing system. It's just that simple. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this plumbing section. I think we got everything plumbed. We got to put a couple clamps on these pipes, and then we'll be done with this, and we're ready to move the washer in there and the refrigerator. The only problem is we still got that room to work on, so check back soon. We're going to have a whole lot more for you, and soon we're going to be tearing that wall out and making this into a really nice kitchen. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Thanks for watching. See you soon.